Noah Granger lived alone in a small wooden cabin deep in the forests of northern Canada. He liked peace, quiet, and things that didn't talk back. After working for many years as an engineer in the city, he had retired early. He built his cabin by hand, fixed his own machines, and only went into town once a month for supplies. That winter night was cold and silent. Snow covered the ground like a thick white blanket. The only sound was the soft crackle of firewood burning in his old iron stove. Noah sat in his chair, sipping tea and reading a book about stars. Then he heard a sound. It was not a normal sound like wind or trees moving. It was a loud whoosh, followed by a sharp crash. The noise came from deep in the forest. The ground shook slightly, like something big had hit it. Noah stood up. He pulled on his heavy coat, boots, and gloves. He grabbed his flashlight and stepped outside. The cold air bit at his face. He looked up. The sky was dark, filled with stars, but one small trail of smoke floated through the air. He followed it. The snow was deep, and it slowed him down, but Noah moved carefully, his boots crunching softly as he walked. After about 15 minutes, he reached a clearing and stopped. There, half buried in the snow, was something strange. It looked like a small ship, shiny metal, glowing softly. Parts of it were broken. Smoke came from one side. It didn't look human-made. Then he saw them. 3 small creatures stood near the wreck. They were about 4 feet tall. Their skin was smooth and pale blue, with thin arms and big round eyes. One of them limped, another held a glowing tool, and the third looked straight at Noah. For a moment, no one moved. Then the one with the big eyes stepped forward. It raised its arms in the air and spoke in a clear, shaky voice. "We are lost, human." Noah blinked. He didn't say anything. He didn't move. The creature pointed to the broken ship, then to the dark forest. Crash, ship broken, cold, help. Noah stared at them. This had to be a dream or a prank. But they looked real, scared, shivering. He slowly lowered his flashlight. "Are you aliens?" The creature nodded quickly. "Yes, from Varelli Star Zone." "Peace, no harm." The other 2 nodded too. One of them slipped and fell into the snow. It let out a strange sound, half cry, half squeak. Noah looked at the broken ship, the freezing creatures, and then at the path behind him. He sighed. "This is crazy," he muttered to himself, but he couldn't leave them there to freeze. "All right," he said, shaking his head. "Follow me. Don't touch anything. And no funny business." The 3 creatures looked at each other, then followed him slowly. Stumbling through the snow, back at the cabin, Noah opened the door and waved them inside. The heat from the stove warmed the air. The creatures rushed in and huddled near the fire. One of them chirped softly, rubbing its hands together. Noah closed the door and leaned against it. "What am I doing?" he whispered. He watched them. They didn't seem dangerous, just confused and tired. One of them found his old knitted blanket and wrapped it around its shoulders. Another touched the bookshelf, blinking at the pictures on the covers. The third sat down and let out a long, happy sigh. Noah took off his coat and boots. He walked to the kitchen and opened a can of soup. He poured it into a pot and placed it over the stove. "I don't know if you eat human food," he said, "but this is all I've got." The 3 aliens looked at the pot and then at him. One of them nodded quickly. "Yes, warm, smell good." Noah gave them each a bowl. They drank it quickly, making soft clicking noises. When they finished, they looked at him with wide eyes. "Shelter." "Thank you, human," one of them said. Noah sighed again and sat in his chair. This is going to be a long night. Outside, snow kept falling quietly over the trees. Inside, the small cabin was filled with warmth, soup, and 3 very strange houseguests who had just changed Noah Granger's peaceful life forever. Morning came slowly, and Noah Granger woke to strange sounds in his cabin. Clink, whir, beep. He sat up in bed and looked around. The cabin smelled like oil, burnt toast, and something sweet. When he walked into the main room, he stopped in shock. The 3 aliens were everywhere. Creech, the tall one with spots on its skin, was standing on a chair, carefully opening the back of Noah's old radio. Tiny wires hung from its fingers like noodles. Talo, the quiet one, was turning Noah's blender on and off with great interest. And Fiffin, the smallest and noisiest, had somehow removed the batteries from the smoke alarm and was now balancing them on his head. "Hey!" Noah shouted. All three froze. Creech dropped the radio cover with a loud clank. Talo slowly turned off the blender. Fiffin stood still, eyes wide, batteries wobbling on his head. Noah rubbed his eyes. "What are you all doing?" Creech stepped down from the chair and looked guilty. "Fixing machine," he said. Talo added, "Making warm drink." Fiffin chirped, exploring. Noah sighed. "You don't fix things without asking. You don't touch kitchen stuff without help. And you definitely don't explore by taking apart my alarm." The three aliens looked at each other, then at the floor. "Sorry, human," Creech said softly. "We are not used to homes." Noah couldn't stay mad. They looked like kids caught stealing cookies. He took a deep breath and pointed to the couch. "Sit, all of you," they obeyed quickly. Fiffin sat with his arms crossed. Still holding one of the batteries. Noah poured himself a cup of tea and sat in his chair across from them. "Okay," he said, calmer now. "Let's start with some rules." He held up one finger. "Rule 1, no touching machines unless I say so." The aliens nodded. "Rule 2, no going into rooms without permission." More nods. "Rule 3, if something smells bad or makes sparks, don't eat it." Fiffin slowly lowered a piece of wire he had been chewing. Noah sighed again, but this time with a small smile. Creech leaned forward. "We understand. We will be better guests." Noah raised an eyebrow. "Guests? You planning to stay long?" The aliens looked at each other. "Ship broken," said Talo. "Cannot fly." "Calling home takes many solar turns," Creech added. "Weeks, maybe more." Noah shook his head. "You said this would be a short visit?" Fiffin perked up. "We like it here." "You haven't even seen the town," Noah replied. "Town has many humans," Creech said nervously. "We are scared of them." Noah finished his tea and stood. "Well, you can't hide forever." Fiffin stood too. "But your home is safe, warm, there's tea and books and fire." Noah chuckled. "That's not enough to build a life on." The aliens looked sad. Noah felt a strange tug in his chest. He wasn't used to having company. At first their presence felt annoying. But now the cabin felt less empty. Later that day, he showed them how to chop wood. Creech tried using the axe and almost hit his own foot. Talo was better quiet, focused, and careful. Fiffin made a small snowman and gave it acorn eyes. At night, they all sat around the fire. Noah played soft music from a record player, and the aliens listened in wonder. Creech swayed gently to the rhythm. "You humans make such strange sound waves," he said. "It's called jazz," Noah replied. Fiffin nodded seriously. "I like the jazz." That night, Noah gave them blankets and made a spot for them near the fireplace. He climbed into his bed but didn't sleep right away. He stared at the ceiling. He had built this cabin to be alone. But now, things had changed. He felt like a school teacher, a babysitter, and an engineer all at once. It was annoying, but also kind of nice. He smiled in the dark. "Just a few more days," he whispered. "Then you're someone else's problem." Downstairs, Creech whispered to the others, "He is grumpy, but kind." "Yes," said Talo. "He doesn't send us away." "I think," Fiffin whispered, curling up in his blanket, "this human is our human now." They all nodded and closed their eyes, the firelight dancing across the wooden walls. Outside, snow fell quietly again. Inside, for the first time in years, Noah Granger's home was full of life. The days passed. And Noah Granger's quiet life was no longer quiet. Every morning, the three aliens, Creech, Talo, and Fiffin, woke up before Noah. They made strange humming sounds, cleaned every corner of the cabin, and even tried cooking breakfast using his old stove. Most days, the eggs were burnt and the toast was still frozen, but they always served it with proud smiles. Noah couldn't stay annoyed. He found himself smiling more often, even laughing sometimes. But one question still bothered him. Why were they really here? He never believed their story about being lost. Space travelers usually had backup plans. They had technology he couldn't even understand. It didn't make sense that they just happened to crash in the middle of nowhere and had no way to call for help. One evening, after a quiet dinner of stew and crackers, Noah decided to ask. He leaned back in his chair, arms crossed. The fire crackled behind him. "Tell me something," he said, looking at the trio. "You're engineers, right?" Creech nodded. "Yes, we fix machines, study systems, work with energy flows." "Then why can't you fix your own ship?" Creech blinked. Talo looked at the floor. Fiffin's ears twitched. Noah waited. Finally, Creech spoke. "Ship is, broken badly, core system damaged. Beyond our repair level?" Noah narrowed his eyes. "That's not the full story, is it?" The room went quiet. Talo looked up. His voice was soft. "We are not just lost, we are hiding." "Hiding?" Noah asked. "From who?" Creech stood slowly and walked to the window. He looked out into the forest, then turned back to Noah. "We were part of a larger team, on a science vessel. Our world is called Zarellan Prime, a strong planet. Very advanced." "Okay," Noah said slowly. "And?" Creech took a deep breath. "Our leaders were planning something, a secret mission. They want to use our ship to scan and map primitive planets. Not for peace, but for control." Fiffin added, "They wanted to find weak planets, plan invasions." Noah sat up straight. "Including Earth?" Creech nodded. "Yes, Earth was on the list. Many leaders believed humans were too wild and should be kept under control," Talo continued. "We didn't agree. We are scientists, not soldiers. We copied files and tried to stop the mission, but they found out. We escaped." Creech said, "Flew far, hoped to hide here. But our ship was damaged during the escape. That's why we crashed." Noah didn't speak for a long moment. He stared into the fire, his hands clenched. "So," he finally said, "you're not just visitors, you're fugitives." Fiffin looked scared. "Are you angry with us?" Noah stood and walked to the table. He picked up the old radio Creech had opened on the first day. Slowly, he turned it over in his hands. "I'm not angry," he said. "I'm thinking—" He placed the radio down and turned toward them. "You three did the right thing. You stood up to your leaders. You protected my planet without even knowing me. That takes guts." The aliens looked at each other, surprised. "But," Noah continued, "others might still come looking for you, right?" Creech nodded. "Yes, they will send search drones, maybe even a scout ship." Noah scratched his beard. "Then we need a plan." "What kind of plan?" Talo asked. "We fix your system," Noah said. "But not to call your planet, we call someone else. Someone who can help tell the truth." Fiffin tilted his head. "Like who?" "Earth has group scientists, space watchers, defense teams. I used to work on satellite systems. I still have contacts. People who would listen if I tell them what's going on." Creech's eyes lit up. "You would do that for us?" "You risked everything to protect Earth," Noah said. "Seems fair I return the favor," Fiffin smiled. "Humans are strange, but good strange." Noah gave a small smile. "That's what people say about me, too." That night, the cabin felt different. The truth had changed things, but in a good way. There were no more secrets, no more pretending. Just a human and 3 aliens trying to stop something big. As the fire burned low, Noah sat with his notebook, writing ideas and drawing antenna designs. The 3 aliens slept nearby, close and peaceful. Outside, the wind blew softly through the trees, and somewhere far above the earth, in the deep silence of space, something was already listening. The next morning, Noah woke with a plan in mind. The quiet cabin no longer felt like just his refuge. It was now a base for something much bigger. The 3 aliens, Creech, Talo, and Fiffin, were already up, preparing breakfast with surprising skill. Even if their cooking was strange, Noah was glad to see their spirits lifting. After breakfast, Noah got to work. He pulled out his old toolbox, dusty and worn, and laid it on the wooden table. "We need to fix your communication system," he said, "but not to call your homeworld. We're going to send a message to Earth." Creech's big eyes lit up. "Earth allies?" "Exactly," Noah said. "If the leaders on your planet try to send others after you, Earth should be ready." The aliens helped as best as they could, passing tools, holding parts, and following Noah's instructions. Noah worked carefully, combining his knowledge of old electronics with the aliens' advanced tech. The cabin filled with the sound of soft whirs, clicks, and the occasional burst of static dock after hours of work. They finished assembling a small device, something like a radio antenna, but with glowing wires and crystals attached. Noah connected the device to his old ham radio and flipped the switch. The machine hummed, sending out a steady, strong signal. Now, Noah said, we wait. Outside the cabin, the forest remained silent. But far above, invisible waves traveled faster than light, crossing space toward Earth's orbit and beyond. Suddenly the device beeped loudly. A bright light flashed, and a new voice crackled through the radio. This is the Earth Space Defense Command. Identify yourself. Noah stared, stunned. The message was clear and firm. Earth had received their signal. Creech stepped forward, trembling. They answered. Noah took the radio and spoke carefully. This is Noah Granger calling from Northern Canada. I have 3 visitors with me, refugees from Zarellan Prime. Their ship was damaged and they bring urgent information. There was a pause. Then the voice responded, Stand by for verification. Noah put down the radio, feeling the weight of the moment. He looked at the 3 aliens. We made contact, he said. Now we wait for help. But waiting was not easy. A few hours later, strange lights appeared in the sky, small, silent drones moving in fast, bright patterns. They circled the cabin, scanning every inch. Creech's eyes widened. Search drones! They found us! Noah grabbed his flashlight and stepped outside. The drones hovered close but did not attack. They sent out beams of light, searching for the aliens. Noah held up his hand. Easy, we're not here to fight. But the drones ignored him and continued their scan. Inside the cabin, the 3 aliens looked scared. Fiffin whispered, What do they want? Noah shook his head. They want you back, probably to take you to your leaders. Creech stepped beside Noah. We cannot go back. We must protect Earth and ourselves, Noah nodded. Then we need to be smart. He went back inside and switched on the device again. I'm sending a new message. This time to Earth's leaders, warning them about the danger. Hours passed. The drones stayed outside, watching. Then from the forest edge came the sound of engines, slow, heavy, and low. Noah looked out and saw a large ship descending. It was unlike anything he had seen, a dark, sleek craft with no markings. But it radiated power. The ship landed softly in the clearing. Noah's heart beat faster. The aliens gasped. They came. The ship's door opened with a hiss. From inside stepped a group of tall, armored figures. Their faces were hidden behind helmets, but their posture was strong and serious. Noah stepped forward. Who are you? A voice came from the helmets, calm but cold. We are the Zarellan Coalition. These fugitives belong to us. They have broken our laws. Creech stepped beside Noah, voice steady. We broke no laws. We stopped a war plan. We came here to warn others. The leader of the coalition raised a hand. You are criminals. You will come with us. Noah shook his head. Not on my land. The tension grew. The coalition soldiers looked ready to act. Noah's mind raced. He needed a plan, and fast. He glanced at the aliens. Remember what I said, humans are unpredictable. The aliens nodded. Noah walked toward the control panel of his radio device and began pressing buttons rapidly. The device emitted a loud burst of energy, a strong electromagnetic pulse. The drones outside shuddered and dropped from the sky. Their lights fading. The coalition soldiers paused, surprised. Noah smiled grimly. You want to play games? You just entered my home turf. Creech and the others took a defensive stance. The message was clear. This was no longer just a hiding place. It was a battlefield. Noah's cabin was small, but it was his home. And he would protect it with everything he had. The silence after. The electromagnetic pulse was heavy. Snowflakes floated slowly from the gray sky. The damaged drones lay still around the cabin like fallen birds. The Zarellan soldiers stood frozen, their glowing visors flickering as they tried to reboot their systems. Inside the cabin, Fiffin peeked out the window. They're not moving, he whispered. Did we win? Noah shook his head. No, we bought time. Creech stepped forward, his voice low but calm. They didn't expect resistance. We surprised them. Talo, always quiet, stared at the soldiers outside. They'll try again. They will not leave so easily. Noah looked at the strange radio device he and the aliens had built. Its outer shell was smoking slightly from the pulse, but the inner light still blinked slowly. Then we need help, he said. Real help, not just me in a toolbox. Creech's eyes widened. Will Earth answer our call? They have. 2, Noah said, turning the dial. Because this is no longer just about you three, it's about what's coming next. He sent a new message, stronger and clearer than before. His voice was steady as he spoke. This is Noah Granger. If, you're listening, this is real. 3 alien scientists came to Earth, not to invade, but to protect us. They risked everything to stop a plan from their homeworld. Now, someone's come looking for them. Not to talk, not to understand, just to take them back in silence. If Earth is ready for first contact, this is it. The message repeated, looping into the cold sky. The group sat together by the fire as the day passed. The soldiers outside still didn't move. Either they were waiting for orders, or something worse. Evening came, and with it a quiet knock. On the cabin door, Noah stood slowly and opened it just a little. A soldier stood there, helmet removed. To Noah's surprise, the soldier was not so different from him. Pale green skin, sharp eyes, tired face, not angry, just human in his own way. I'm Commander Rilvik, the alien said. I lead this team. Noah stepped outside and shut the door behind him. Rilvik looked around at the frozen drones. You used a smart trick. We didn't expect your technology to fight back. Noah folded his arms. You shouldn't have come here like this. My planet is not your hunting ground. Rilvik raised an eyebrow. You defend fugitives. Why? Noah looked him in the eye. Because they told the truth, they chose peace. I believe in people who do that no matter what planet they're from. The commander was quiet for a moment. You are unusual. Most worlds don't defend strangers. Noah gave a small smile. Maybe humans are a little strange. Rilvik nodded slowly. I will report to my leaders. I will not force you to give them up, not yet. Good, Noah replied. Because they're not going anywhere. The commander stepped back. But be warned, others may come. Stronger than us, less patient. I'll be ready, Noah said. When he returned inside, Creech stood up. You spoke to him? Noah nodded. He's leaving for now. But more might come. Fiffin's voice trembled. What if they send warships? Noah looked at the 3 aliens. Then Earth will stand with you. I'll make sure of it. Talo looked surprised. Why do you care so much, Noah? You barely knew us. Noah sat down beside the fire and thought for a moment. Because, he said finally, for a long time I didn't care about anyone. I lived alone, far from people. I thought it was easier that way. But then you crashed into my life literally, and now I see that doing the right thing feels better than being alone. The fire crackled softly. Fiffin leaned against his shoulder. You are not alone anymore. Creech smiled. You are part of our crew now, Noah chuckled. Crew? Is there a uniform? Fiffin grinned. We can make one. They all laughed. It felt strange laughing in the middle of danger, but also right. Like hope was still possible. Later that night, while the others slept, Noah sat at the table, writing in his notebook. He made lists, drew sketches, planned what they might need. Defense ideas, signal boosters, emergency plans. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't even a real scientist anymore. But he was a human. And sometimes that was enough. Outside the cabin, the night was still. But in the sky above, a new message flashed across satellites and signals. Earth acknowledges your call. Help is on the way. The sun rose slowly over the forest, lighting the snow-covered trees in a soft golden glow. Inside the cabin, everything was quiet. But in Noah Granger's mind, everything was racing. He had received Earth's message the night before. Help is on the way. Now he just hoped it wasn't too late. The three alien guests screech. Talo and Fiffin were still asleep on the floor near the fireplace, wrapped in soft blankets. They looked peaceful. It was hard to believe that powerful enemies from another world were hunting them. Noah stood at the window, watching the trees. His breath fogged up the glass. Suddenly he saw movement in the sky. It started as a shimmer like heat waves. Then the shimmer grew into a shape. A ship, larger than the Zarellan coalition vessel from before, appeared above the treetops. Its metal surface glowed faint blue. It moved slowly, carefully, not aggressive. Noah's eyes widened. It's them. He ran to the fireplace and gently shook Creech awake. Wake up. They're here, Earth's response team. Creech sat up, blinking. Already? Come on, Noah said. Let's greet them before someone else does. Within minutes, the four of them were outside, watching the Earth ship land quietly in the clearing. Snow flew up in every direction as the landing thrusters blew warm air into the cold forest. The ship's door opened, and a ramp extended slowly to the ground. From the inside, humans stepped out. They wore special suits, part armor, part science gear. At the front was a tall woman with silver hair tied back and sharp, calm eyes. She looked straight at Noah and gave a small nod. Noah Granger? She asked. Yes, Noah said, stepping forward. I'm Commander Elena Rhodes of Earth. Space Defense, we received your signal. Creech, Talo, and Fiffin stood behind Noah. Their eyes were wide with awe. They had never seen Earth's advanced teams before. Elena looked at the aliens. These are the visitors? Yes, Noah said. They're the ones who risked everything to stop a secret invasion plan from their world. Elena turned back to her team. Scan the area. Check for Zarellan activity. Her crew quickly spread out with small devices that hummed and flashed. Within moments, one of them returned. Ma'am, the soldier said. Zarellan coalition ship left during the night. No life signs nearby, just wrecked drones. Elena nodded. They're not done yet, but they've backed off for now. She looked at Creech. You have information? Creech stepped forward. Yes, Commander. We downloaded proof before we escaped. Details about the plan to target Earth and other peaceful planets. He held out a small glowing crystal. Elena took it carefully. We'll review this. If it checks out, Earth will send a warning across the Alliance Council. Your leaders won't be able to hide this. Fiffin leaned closer to Noah. What's the Alliance Council? Noah whispered back. A group of spacefaring civilizations. Earth joined it years ago. Kind of like the United Nations, but for planets. Talo looked hopeful. Then maybe the truth will spread. Elena turned to Noah again. You've done more than you know, Mr. Granger. By helping these visitors, you may have stopped a galactic war before it began. Noah gave a small smile. I just gave them shelter. You gave them more than that, Elena said. You gave them a voice. Then her voice grew serious. But Earth is now involved. And if the Zarellan leadership doesn't back down, we might see conflict, real conflict. Creech spoke quietly. We never wanted war, only safety. You might get both, Elena replied, but you'll need to leave this place for now. It's not safe anymore. Fiffin's ears drooped. We must leave Noah? Elena looked at Noah. He can come with us. If he chooses. Noah looked around. His cabin, the trees, the snow. It had been his home for years. But it had also been a prison of silence. He looked at the three aliens beside him, his strange new friends. They had brought danger, yes. But they had also brought meaning. I'll come, Noah said. Fiffin cheered. Talo smiled. Creech looked grateful. Elena nodded. Then pack what you need. We leave in 30 minutes. Noah didn't have much to pack. A few photos, his notebook, a toolbox, and a jacket. Before leaving, he stood at the door of his cabin one last time. I guess this is goodbye, he whispered, but he wasn't sad. Something new was beginning. As they boarded the Earthship, the engines warmed up with a soft hum. The ramp pulled back. The cabin shrank below them. The sky opened wide above. And for the first time in a long time, Noah felt something clear and bright in his heart. Hope. The Earth defense ship glided through space like a quiet bird flying between stars. Inside, everything was calm, but Noah Granger's heart beat fast. He sat near a wide window, looking out at the endless sky. Tiny lights blinked in the darkness, some stars, some distant ships, some unknown, Creech, Talo, and Fiffin sat beside him, wearing soft gray flight suits now. They looked different from the night they crashed into his forest, stronger, calmer, more confident. They smiled more now. Even Fiffin had stopped hiding behind furniture. "This is your first time in space, yes?" Creech asked, watching Noah's face. Noah nodded slowly. "Yeah, it's bigger than I imagined." Talo leaned forward. "We are taking you to the Alliance Station. Many species live and work there. Earth has ambassadors too." Fiffin added excitedly, "And food machines that make anything." "Even chocolate," Noah laughed. "That's all I needed to hear." The ship's voice came over the speakers. "Arrival in 30 minutes. Please prepare for docking." Noah stood and walked with the others to the viewing deck. And then he saw it. The Alliance Station. It was huge, floating like a moon among the stars. Silver rings spun slowly around a glowing core. Small ships moved in and out of the hangars like bees around a hive. Lights blinked across its surface, and colorful flags from dozens of worlds waved in the artificial breeze of the docking bay. Noah whispered, "So many people from so many places." Elena Rhodes, the Earth commander, joined them. "Welcome to the edge of the known galaxy," she said with a smile. As they entered the station, everything felt strange and exciting. The air smelled like metal and spice. The halls were filled with aliens of every shape and color. Some had feathers. Some had smooth glass-like skin. Others looked almost human, but no one stared at Noah. No one feared the aliens beside him. Here they were all just people. Elena led them to a large room with tall windows and shining floors. Inside were several important-looking beings. One wore a silver robe and had 6 eyes. Another floated slightly above the floor, glowing softly. These were members of the Alliance Council. Creech stepped forward and bowed. "We thank you for hearing us. We bring evidence of a planned attack, a silent war hidden in science." He handed the glowing crystal to the council members. One of them inserted it into a reader. Lights danced across the room, showing 3D images of Zarellan ships, secret labs, and hidden meetings. Audio clips played voices planning missions, targeting peaceful worlds. Gasps filled the room. One council member spoke. "This is serious. If this is true, it threatens the entire alliance." Elena nodded. "Earth stands by these whistleblowers. They risked everything to bring the truth." Noah stepped forward too, unsure if he should speak, but he did. "I'm just a human," he said. "I live in a cabin in the woods. But these 3 crashed into my life. They told me the truth, and I believed them. If someone like me can see, they mean no harm. Then maybe the rest of the galaxy should too." The room went quiet. Then slowly, one by one, the council members nodded. The leader spoke again. "We will investigate. We will act. And until then, these 3 will have protection. From the Alliance and from Earth." Fiffin clapped his hands in joy. Talo smiled, relieved. Creech bowed deeply. It was done. Later that day, Noah stood at a balcony on the station, looking out at a distant blue star. Creech joined him. "You changed everything," Creech said. Noah shook his head. "You did that. I just gave you a place to stay." "Sometimes," Creech said softly, "a small place is enough to change the whole universe." Noah smiled. "So, what now?" Talo walked over, holding a datapad. "We've been offered research jobs here on the station," Fiffin added. "And you've been offered a role too, Noah?" "Me? Yes," said Creech. "Earth wants you to be part of their first contact team. You understand aliens, you listen, you care." Noah laughed. "I was just a man in a cabin with a toolbox." Talo smiled. "Now you're a man in space with friends." Noah looked at them all. These strange, brilliant, brave aliens who had become like family. He nodded. "All right, I'll do it." The stars shone brighter than ever, far from Earth. In a station full of voices and light, Noah Granger had found something he never expected. Not just adventure, not just purpose. He had found a home not made of wood and stone, but of friendship, courage, and truth, and as long as he stood by them, no matter how far they traveled, humanity would never be lost.